All right, thanks, Nada. Hi everyone, I'm Seb, and welcome to an overview of the Biocities module. So a module, is an educator-led project with the parameters defined by the educator. There are 3 modules to pick from each term, and each unit has to complete one in a term. So I completed this module over the course of 8 weeks in term 3 and came with a final product of a 3D model with some data behind the design of the final product. Now here's a table of contents. We'll be exploring first what the module involved, second, the design of the farm, and then an analysis of the systems in the farm, the final model, and finally, some key takeaways. So here's the driving question, the question that sums up the problem that we're facing for this module. In this case, it was how can I apply my understanding of closed system ecosystems in order to design a better farming system in my city. So here's a rough timeline of the progress that I made on the module, starting with week 1, where I conducted some background research into the solution. So where could my farm be and what resources will be used in it? And week 2, I drew up some initial sketches of my solution, like what I wanted my farm to look like. And moving on to week 3, I started working out some of the numbers behind the farm, so the quantities of resources I'd need, etc. And then week 6, I started my initial design file, building the 3D models. And finally, by week 7, I had a final product ready, which was for me an animation showcasing my farm, which you'll see later. So I started out by researching the solution. What resources did I need in the farm and how would I acquire them? The farm was to be in a real place, so I selected an area by my city that was next to a river for easy access to water. As you can see here, I've got the systems in the farm. The water situated right next to a river, there'll be easy access to it. And power with 5 wind turbines and a hydropower station. There's a lot more power supplied than was needed. Fertilizer all produced by the 7 cows on the farm, and that was used on the 2 fields and in the hydroponic system. Next up, pesticides were very hard to produce on the farm, so these were bought in from the profit from the power that would pay for these. Animal food was also bought in, which was to be used up by the 7 cows on the farm. Now here's a quick overview of the systems that I worked out. Take a second to have a look. As you can see in the first column, there were 5 wind turbines producing a total of 250 kilowatt hours of energy. I calculated the quantity of power, water, fertilizers, pesticides, and animal food that the farm would use in order to have a much more realistic working final model. Now, what was included in the final model? So all the systems were worked out, meaning I had the quantities of the systems, and being closed system, all of the power, water and fertilizers will be produced in the farm. Next up, the 3D animation. So I learned how to 3D model in Maya, which was a 3D modeling program, and creating an animation where a camera would go around the farm model visiting the different sections. Could it really exist though? So the farm was located in an area which in real life would be perfect for the farm. All of the wind speeds, river speeds and etc. have been calculated, so in theory the farm could really exist. Now, next up, here's a few highlights from the animation of the 3D model of my farm, where you can see what the model actually looked like. Now, here are the key takeaways from this project. First up, independence. I was able to take this project in exactly the direction that I wanted to, allowing for a lot more freedom with the final product. Next up, tech skills. I learned 3D design, animation and video editing throughout this module, which I've used in further projects in TGS. Data analysis, performing data analysis on the system's usages gave me some really useful skills, some of which I'm using for a project this term. And finally, communication, speaking to our 2 guest speakers and checking in with the module leads and my peers really helped my communication skills. Thanks for watching everyone, and now back to our MCs.
Wow, I can't